How to farm essences for profit. To preface this video, this isn't the most optimal way to farm for maximum currency per hour, but it is the way that I personally enjoy farming essences the most. For those of you who are more experienced or know of a better way to improve this strategy, let me know in the comments section below. So for the past couple weeks, I've primarily been focused on farming Harvest and Delirium for the purpose of selling Delirium orbs for a profit, as well as grinding up some Harvest juice for my own personal use. Now that I've made the decision to finally start working towards my second build of the league after a 2-month hiatus, it occurred to me that I would need a whole lot of essences in order to craft some of the baseline starter gear for the new build. And since I dislike buying essences in bulk, grinding up my supply manually was going to be the way to go. Now my primary issue with farming essences is that I have to drop Wandering Path in order to fully maximize its output. The notable passives on the Atlas tree are far too powerful in order to pass up when considering an essence farming strategy. To add further insult to injury, the most efficient way to farm essences also happens to be the most boring way to farm it, in my honest opinion. And since I wasn't willing to downgrade to white tier maps in order to improve the efficiency of this strategy, I decided that farming essences in T16 maps was going to be my compromise. Because sustaining high tier maps without Wandering Path is actually kinda difficult, I decided to stop selling my excess strand and beach maps over the past week in order to farm for essences. So for this particular strategy, I decided to reallocate all the points that I previously had in Harvest into all of the essence nodes on the Atlas tree, excluding a couple of the remnant passives. The one saving grace for essence farming is that you don't really have to rely on a chance to encounter essences, but rather you have a guaranteed chance to encounter at least one essence from the Atlas tree, 2 from the map device, and a 20% chance to encounter an additional essence monster on top of that. Furthermore, for each essence monster encountered, there's an implicit 25% chance to contain an additional essence, 15% chance to contain 3 additional essences, and monsters containing shrieking essences will be duplicated. The unfortunate part about all of this is that these passives are only accessible via notable passives, which is why we'll have to pass on the Wandering Path keystone. One additional adjustment I've made to my Atlas tree this past week is allocating singular focus. Once I realized that I didn't really like picking up any maps other than Strand and Beach, this keystone would serve to slightly boost the returns of my farming sessions. For those of you who are new to essence farming, the rule of thumb for this strategy is to always apply your Remnant of Corruptions to essence monsters with purple essences. These essences include Essence of Misery, Envy, Dread, and Scorn, otherwise known as meds. So always be sure to corrupt your meds when farming essences. Now currently I do have more than enough remnants in my stash for any purple essences that appear, but since I haven't allocated the remnant nodes on my Atlas tree, it does seem that my supply is dwindling rather rapidly. However, since essence farming is actually one of my least favorite farming strategies, grinding out these essences until I'm all out of remnants is more than enough for me personally. Aside from running the essence nodes on my Atlas tree, I've also started to allocate the Delirium notable passives on the tree, since I absolutely love farming Deli orbs in T16 maps. And this will basically serve as my current means of an income alongside Eater invitation farming while I'm currently grinding up my supply of essences. Even though the notable passives for Delirium do seem rather strong, it does happen to be the case that I've experienced a pretty fair drop in terms of number of encounters, as well as drop rates when it comes to farming Delirium without Wandering Path. Which I guess makes sense since without this keystone, I now have a 34% chance of encountering Delirium mirrors instead of the previous 48% chance. Overall, I'd say this particular strategy is pretty half decent. It's definitely not as crazy as combining essence farming with Einhar Beast farming in white tier maps, but I personally couldn't be bothered to deal with Einhar Beast on top of running really low tier maps. So that's all for this video. If you want to support my content, be sure to check out my second channel where I'll address any thoughts, questions, or suggestions that you guys may have in the comments section below. Thanks for watching the video, and I hope to see you all next time.